The Bold and the Beautiful preview video for week of January 26-30 reveals that Ivy Forrester catches Will Spencer and Dylan together while Electra Forrester is out of town. At Brooke Logan Forrester's house, she'll be delighted at the familiar sight of RJ Forrester coming in from a swim. Brooke will gush over how it's like RJ never left, so he'll smile and perhaps admit it's good to be home. There's also a brief glimpse of Morgan Fairchild reprising her role as Dottie, while Jim J. Bullock pops up as Bruno, so viewers will see some fashion-related fun. Over with Electra, she'll get updates on some surprising news. It turns out Steffi Forrester Finnegan will be going to San Francisco with Electra, so Steffi will insist there's been a change of plans. Ivy was supposed to be going on this business trip with Electra, but Steffi will apparently decide to go instead. That'll free Ivy up to check on things at Will's beach house while Electra is gone. B&B's weekly promo shows Dylan in a close moment with Will while Ivy spies on them through the window. Whether a kiss happens or not, Ivy won't approve of Dylan and Will looking way too close for comfort. Dylan will break her promise to respect the boundaries of Electra and Will's relationship, so plenty of dramas coming up. As for Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes, the weekly preview video shows them sharing a kiss. Taylor and Deacon's last makeout session was a fantasy, but maybe their smooch will be real this time around. Sheila Sharp will keep singing Taylor's praises and acting like she's the reason her marriage has survived. Deacon will definitely squirm a bit as Sheila talks to him about how lucky they are to have Taylor. Steffi is right to worry about Sheila flying off the handle, since she's certainly done it in the past. Sheila can be dangerous when things don't go her way, so both Taylor and Deacon had better watch out if they continue heading down this road. Hope Logan Spencer thinks Deacon and Taylor could be happy together, but maybe not if Sheila has anything to say about it. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers indicate that Sheila may develop some suspicions in the not-too-distant future, so don't miss all the action. On the January 23, 2026 episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Sheila attempted to connect with Finn, Steffi, and Hope disagreed about their parents' future. Dylan promised to follow Electra's rules, and Deacon admitted his true feelings to Taylor. Finn dropped by Il Giardino, and he immediately asked Deacon how he managed to put up with Deacon. He also inquired about Deacon's ongoing therapy sessions with Taylor. However, he needed to leave, so Sheila swooped in and asked Finn how he was doing. Sheila reminded Finn that she was his mother and asked for a moment to speak with him. She assumed that he knew of their recent separation, but thanks to the world-renowned Taylor Hayes, her marriage was back on track. Finn thought therapy was good for Deacon, but Sheila wanted to dive deeper. She droned on about Taylor's talents and how she brought them back together. Finn admitted that he had heard about the positive impact Taylor had on Deacon's life. Katie visited Will at the beach house, and he wanted to know everything about Logan's progress. He was proud of her, but he had to get dressed. Before he left, she told him she'd be asking about Dylan. Will explained that Dylan not only had to handle the Luna fallout, but she was left homeless and unemployed. Katie was proud of Will for helping a friend, and he was happy to do what he could. Will didn't hesitate to offer Dylan a place to live. Once he saw the state of her vehicle, he knew he needed to step in. Katie asked if Will's heart had broken for her, and although he didn't want to embarrass her, he needed to give her a break. Electra demanded that Dylan avoid any alone time with Will. It couldn't happen again. Electra instructed Dylan to never do their laundry again and focus on moving out of Will's guest house. Dylan felt horrible about the position she put them in and apologized for hurting Electra's feelings. Dylan promised that she spent every day attempting to find work. Electra didn't doubt that, but she needed her gone. Electra informed her that there wouldn't be an opening at Forrester for quite some time, which was a blatant lie. Steffi clearly told her that an internship was a possibility for Dylan. Dylan was disappointed that she wouldn't get a chance to work with Will and Electra at Forrester. She vowed to do everything in her power to get out of their way as soon as she could. Dylan wasn't accustomed to accepting help from anyone, but she didn't know who else to turn to. Electra told Dylan she was going out of town on a business trip for a few days, so she needed her to stick to the script. She needed to stay in the guest house and avoid Will at the main house. Dylan wasn't offended by Electra's comment, and she told her she had nothing to worry about. She was overwhelmed with guilt for letting Electra down with the dinner for two. Taylor continued to deny any accusations that she and Deacon had romantic feelings for each other. Hope encouraged Taylor to pursue it, and she reminded her how great a catch that Deacon was. Deacon came to visit Taylor at Steffi's house after Hope left, and they were equally surprised to learn that their respective daughters paid the other a visit. Taylor believed that they were in a tricky situation. On the one hand, Hope supported the idea of them being together. On the other hand, Steffi was vehemently opposed to it. Taylor was taken aback to learn that Hope previously spoken with Deacon about their growing connection. Steffi made it clear, though, that this relationship could not happen under any circumstances. They both knew that their children had only their best interests in mind and that their passion was rooted in protection. Deacon admitted to Taylor that he worried about her, too. He knew that Taylor was strong and didn't need a man to take care of her. Still, he worried about her well-being. Deacon requested that Taylor stop billing him and they could have lunch together as an official date. Deacon refused to apologize for being drawn to Taylor. She was everything that Sheila was not. He called Taylor beautiful, and they looked deeply into each other's eyes. At Forrester, Steffi summoned Hope to the office just in time to berate her for encouraging a relationship between Deacon and Taylor. Steffi overheard Hope pleading with Taylor to give Deacon a chance. Not only was Deacon married, but his wife, Sheila, posed a threat to everyone. Hope didn't think that Taylor had anything to worry about. Sheila had no idea what was occurring, so she believed Taylor was in the clear. Steffi insisted that Hope stop dismissing her concerns and allow her to protect Taylor from Sheila's darkest impulses. Steffi didn't believe that Taylor needed to be bogged down by Deacon and Sheila's drama. She didn't care because she was convinced that Sheila would cause harm to Taylor if she learned of their feelings for each other. Steffi told Hope, "This can't happen." It was evident that she wasn't budging from this stance. Hope pleaded with Steffi to give Deacon a chance. She thought that they had the opportunity to lean on each other and heal from their respective heartbreaks. Steffi understood where Hope was coming from, and although she agreed that Deacon deserved better than Sheila, it would not be with her mother. Hope assured Steffi that she wasn't attempting to be a matchmaker. All she wanted for Deacon was for him to find happiness. However, despite acknowledging the changes that Deacon had made, Steffi thought he needed to stay with Sheila and her 8 toes and deal with it. Taylor was not an option, and she needed Hope to understand that. On The Bold and the Beautiful, Bill Spencer has been crushing enemies for decades, but recent events make us wonder whether he has lost that edge. This is fast becoming a project of mine, examining the main characters of our favorite Sudser and looking at the history as it should be taught, warts and all. None of the characters are saints. None are above reproach, and none will dodge my spotlight. Bill arrived in LA as a media tycoon whose methods took no prisoners. But let's strap in and take a look at his history on The Bold and the Beautiful. It suggests a man constantly at war between his desire for family and his desperate need for control. Join me. It is time to weigh and measure the legacy of Dollar Bill to see if the scales will tip toward villain, or the misunderstood anti-hero. Once I dived into these history books, I soon discovered that Bill's crimes are not petty misdemeanors. Here, check this out. Bill is the man who ordered the demolition of the Spectra Fashions building with Liam and Sally Spectra still inside, risking the life of his own son for a piece of real estate. I took a pause after reading that, then read it again. Wow! He lied to Thomas Forrester about Caroline Spencer dying of a terminal illness, a manipulation that was designed with only one intent, to break up Thomas and Sally. Awesome! Father of the Year nominee? Nope, not yet. There is more. He slept with Steffi Forrester while she was married to Liam, creating a rift that nearly destroyed the Spencer family bond permanently. Okay, so Liam and Steffi had fought, but this wasn't a Rachel and Ross from Friends situation. We were on a break, was not at play. These are not the actions of a man who values loyalty above all else, despite the constant yapping on about the importance of the Spencer sword necklace. Now we need to take a look at the anger? No? Vitriol? Between Bill and Ridge Forrester, it defines much of Bill's existence in LA. Their altercations and verbal barrages go beyond business. They are personal and often violent. Bill once dumped Ridge out of a helicopter into the Persian Gulf, a move that could have easily been fatal. LOL, I did laugh at rewatching that bit. I mean, come on. Action like that is why men watch soaps as much as women. Their rivalry almost always centers on Brooke Logan. Bill sees Ridge as a dressmaker, unworthy of Brooke, while Ridge views Bill as a toxic force. The swinging between trying to destroy Ridge and forming an uneasy truce for the sake of removing Sheila Carter shows that Bill's hatred is adaptable, but his competitive streak is pathological. He cannot stand to lose, especially to a Forrester. And now we are here. I went in on Brooke and her many partners. I went in on Ridge too, and now we examine Bill's romantic history on The Bold and the Beautiful. It looks like a chaotic map of obsession and betrayal. Katie Logan. His most stable relationship, yet he repeatedly broke her trust by pursuing her sister. Brooke Logan. Bill, in his lengthy pursuit of Brooke, destroyed his marriage to Katie. He enjoys and needs Brooke's acceptance of his darker side. No, Bill is not Darth Vader, but Luna, I am your father, sure has a comedic ring to it. Steffi Forrester. A weird power dynamic that turned sexual, resulting in a DNA test for Kelly and a ton of damage to his relationship with Liam. Quinn Fuller. A brief thing that brought them together but lacked long-term substance. Lee Finnegan. A potential connection sparked when he saved Finn, which quickly fizzled out. Poppy Nozawa. His relationship with Poppy brought a softer, drug-hazed side of Bill to the surface, centered on his desperation for a daughter. This bit was a little sad to watch, actually. Legacy is forever, and that drives Bill more than even he knows, I think. Bill's legacy lies in his sons, though he discovered most of them in adulthood. Liam Spencer. The moral compass. Bill constantly tries to corrupt. Bill respects Liam's goodness, but hates his softness. When Bill thought he was going to lose Liam to his brain cancer, we saw the side of Bill that we have been needing to see, and was a rare feel-good moment on the show. Wyatt Spencer Isa. The son who shares Bill's pragmatic edge, but often gets treated as the backup heir. Will Spencer. Will is his youngest son with Katie, and Bill's second chance at fatherhood that he struggles to maintain. Will has his own problems, constantly, and now we wonder if he is going to stray with the house guest. I really should have made a chart. And now, what about Luna, you might say? I was leaving this bit until the end. Luna could be a whole separate article on its own, but she's gone, and we need to look at Bill's desperate acceptance of Luna as his daughter, only to face the paternity chaos involving Tom Starr and Jack Finnegan. This shone a light on a weakness in what is a pretty impressive suit of armor. He wanted a daughter so badly that he ignored the red flags surrounding Poppy's magic mints and the timeline. To judge Bill, it requires accepting that he is the type of man who will buy people when he cannot charm them and destroy them when he cannot purchase them. He is currently in a weird phase on The Bold and the Beautiful, seemingly softened by his desire for a family unit that won't tear itself apart. However, history dictates that a bored Bill is a dangerous Bill. Time will tell if his relationship with Katie will go the distance, but for now, it fills two needs of his at the same time. He has love, and he gets to make jabs at Ridge. Often. Through Katie's new fashion house, Logan the Bold and the Beautiful, recap for Friday, January 23rd, reveals that Deacon Sharp offered up a hot date pitch to Taylor Hayes after Steffi Forrester Finnegan overheard Hope Logan Spencer going against her stance. At the Cliff House on Friday's B&B episode, Steffi came home and secretly listened as Hope pushed Taylor in Deacon's direction. Steffi later confronted Hope at Forrester Creations and was upset over her doing the opposite of what they talked about. Hope was supposed to be helping Steffi drive their parents apart, not trying to push them together. However, Hope thought Taylor deserved to be happy after all the drama with Ridge Forrester and insisted Deacon was a good man who deserved happiness too. Steffi was fine with Deacon divorcing Sheila Sharp if that's what he wanted, but she warned that he'd have to choose any other woman besides Taylor. Deacon had made his bed with 8-toed Sheila and would have to sleep in it as far as Steffi was concerned. Although John Finn Finnegan was hoping to avoid Sheila while waiting to pick up his order at Il Giardino, she popped up anyway. Sheila couldn't stop gushing over Taylor saving her marriage, so Finn was uncomfortable. Back at the Cliff House, Deacon showed up to see Taylor, so they admitted their daughters had paid them visits. Steffi was very much against Deacon's growing connection with Taylor, but Hope thought Taylor was a better match for him than Sheila. Deacon got why Steffi wanted to protect Taylor since he had worries of his own. Taylor acted like she could take care of herself before Deacon showered her with compliments. Deacon eventually suggested they could meet up without Taylor billing him sometime and teased her about the idea of a hot date for lunch. Taylor was wary, but she melted into Deacon's touch as he moved in close and called her beautiful. At Will Spencer's beach house, she gave him updates on how things were going at Logan. Katie also praised Will for being so compassionate when it came to offering Dylan a place to stay. At the Forrester design office, Electra stood her ground on Dylan, not dining with Will by herself anymore. Dylan tried to explain and repeatedly apologized for upsetting Electra. After Electra admitted the Forrester position probably wasn't going to work out, Dylan still planned to keep at her job search and get a place of her own. In the meantime, Electra mentioned her upcoming business trip to San Francisco and expected Dylan to follow the rules while she was away. Dylan made it clear that wouldn't be a problem and embraced Dylan as they tried to move past this bump in the road. Electra insisted she normally wasn't the jealous type, but she hinted about the special circumstances and how she didn't want to get betrayed by another friend. Dylan understood and once again hugged Electra, but she looked a bit uneasy over Electra's shoulder. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Dylan and Electra's friendship may soon become a thing of the past, so stay tuned for any news to come. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for Monday, January 26th, reveal that Steffi Forrester Finnegan delivers a San Francisco surprise. Steffi will swap in for Ivy Forrester on an upcoming business trip, so let's talk about how that'll affect a major storyline. In the Forrester design office, Dylan will double down on her promise not to cause any more issues. Dylan will tell Electra Forrester that she'll absolutely respect her wishes and avoid stepping out of bounds with Will Spencer. It seems like Dylan's hugs and reassurances have been helping put Electra's mind at ease. Even so, there may be a little voice in the back of Electra's head telling her that she should worry. Later, Steffi will catch Electra off guard when she delivers some unexpected updates. Once Steffi announces that she's coming to San Francisco, Electra will be pleasantly surprised. Steffi will insist there's been a change of plans, so Ivy may have some last-minute reason to cancel. Then again, maybe Steffi will suddenly have other business in San Francisco and contend that there's no need for Ivy to go too. Whatever the case, Electra has a nice bond with Steffi and will be excited over the opportunity to spend more time together. Of course, concerns may bubble up about Dylan being all alone with Will on the beach house property. Electra may voice those concerns to her aunt, so Ivy might promise to stop by and make sure Dylan's playing by the rules while Electra is away. B&B spoilers say that'll lead to Ivy's shocking discovery later during the week of January 26-30. But let's focus on Dylan's temptation in the meantime. Dylan will catch a glimpse of Will lifting weights, so she'll definitely be attracted to him during his workout. Will may ultimately talk to Dylan about the chicken dinner blender and apologize for offering the extra food since Electra flipped out. Dylan may insist it's all good since she talked things out with Electra, but her burning Will desires are going to be a problem in the coming episodes. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Will could eventually face some temptation of his own, so don't miss any cheating news that might be ahead for Electra. The bold and the beautiful spoilers hint that Eric Forrester may leak his secret and recruit a shocking Forrester ally for Katie Logan Spencer's team. Will Eric turn to another Forrester for help and try to score some designer backup? Katie already approached Deke Sharp about possibly joining Logan in a designer role, but nothing's set in stone yet. That said, Katie does see promise in Deke's design ability and would like to give him a chance to show his stuff. Since Katie is going to need a fill team to get Logan off the ground, that could mean she'll need more than just Eric as her lead designer and Deke as an up-and-comer. Eric may see that too and wonder if someone familiar might be interested in pitching in. RJ Forrester thought it was messed up the first time Ridge Forrester disrespected Eric with a retirement push. That was back when Joshua Hoffman was playing the role of RJ. And since Eric needed some help designing his ultimate couture line, RJ went against his father to help his granddad. Would RJ consider doing that again? B&B spoilers suggest Eric might at least make the pitch since RJ talked about reconnecting with his grandfather soon. RJ was previously hoping they could have 3 generations of Forresters working together. But Eric may insist that's not an option after the way he's been treated. Although RJ agreed to consider working on Couture with Ridge at Forrester Creations, Eric may deliver another offer with Katie's approval. What if Eric pushes RJ to come work at Logan and join forces with him like they did before? With RJ as his right-hand man, Eric might argue that they can once again accomplish great things together. That could put RJ in a tight spot, especially if Eric asks RJ to keep his lead designer news a secret from Ridge and Brooke Logan Forrester, Catherine Kelly Lang. Even if RJ turns Eric down and stays loyal to the rest of the Forrester family, there could be trouble. RJ might feel torn about whether to keep quiet or give Ridge and Brooke updates on Eric's traitor status. The bold and the beautiful spoilers hint that Eric could back RJ into a difficult corner, so don't miss what's in store.